Luca just went insane. 46 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Luca played 38 minutes and didn't waste a single one. He shot 15 of 25 from the field and knocked down 8 of his 14 shots from deep. That's over 50% from both the field and beyond the arc, while also dropping a double-double with 11 dimes. That's the definition of running an offense with complete control. And the crazy part, he made it look casual. Only one other player in history has ever finished a game with at least 46 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 8 three-pointers made. That was James Harden back in 2016. So yes, Luka's in rare air again. He's doing things that are being mentioned in the same sentence as one of the most statistically ridiculous guards to ever play. And he's not doing it as an outlier performance. It's part of a stretch. But honestly, seeing Luka play like this, it makes me think about other elite West competitors like the Spurs and the Rockets too. I actually placed wagers on their game using Polymarket. If you're still using a sports book, you probably aren't getting the best bang for your buck. And the thing is, Polymarket just ended the scam. Let me show you what I mean. This is live in the app. This is a trade I liked from the other night. Polymarket had Houston favored when I checked. That means San Antonio is sitting at just 39% to win. I'm trading on the Spurs. Why? Because San Antonio plays loose. And if the Spurs pull this off, that 39% chance turns into a 2.56 times payout. 197 becomes 505. And here's the kicker. If San Antonio takes a lead and that percentage jumps to 50 or 60%, I can trade out instantly and lock in the win. Try doing that with the sports book. You can't. They'll freeze the cash out button like your money's in jail. And don't get me started on fees. They'll charge $9 on 100 win. Polymarket, literally 10 cents. That's not a discount. That's a revolution. It's legal in all 50 states. And right now, they're giving you $10 free just for signing up. No deposit, no card. Just use my link below and code ModernJam for early access and your free $10. Welcome to the future. Polymarket. Trade like you're not being played. But back to the video. In his last 4 games, he's posted 46 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds with 8 made threes. Before that, 33 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. The game before, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and then 38 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. That's not a hot streak. That's domination. That's offensive consistency at a level most players dream about. He's racking up triple-doubles and near triple-doubles while putting up scoring totals in the high 30s and mid 40s. You don't get that from a player who's just feeling it. You get that from someone who's completely locked in. He's controlling pace, scoring at will, and still finding ways to keep his teammates involved, which is wild when you consider how much he's doing on his own. Against Chicago, he poured in 20 points in just the third quarter. 1 quarter. That's nearly a solid night for a role player, and he did it in 12 minutes. It wasn't some lucky run either, it was surgical. Mid-game, he saw a chance to close the door and took it. And that's coming after being named Western Conference Player of the Week. Like, what do you even give a guy who follows that up with this kind of stat line? Luka's now tied for the most games in Lakers history with at least 45 points and 10 assists. Let that sink in. He's doing stuff that's tying records with legends like Elgin Baylor. Speaking of Baylor, Luka and Baylor are now the only Lakers with multiple 45-point, 10-assist games. Think about all the offensive talent that's come through that team, and it's just those two. He also just became the fastest player in Lakers history to reach 2,000 points. 65 games. That's how long it took him. Not even the all-time greats in that uniform got to that number faster. He's not just stacking numbers. He's sprinting past the milestone. It's like every game, there's a new historic achievement, and Luka's name is just sitting there at the top of the list. And while it's easy to get distracted by the scoring, the efficiency is impossible to ignore. Shooting 15 of 25 from the field, while also going 8 of 14 from long range is ridiculous. That's not normal efficiency, that's MVP level shot making, especially when defenses are locked in on him. From the start, he's still getting his shots off, and he's still making them at a clip that just breaks defensive spirits. The 3-ball, if it gets back to even 80% of what it was 2 years ago, it's game over, because this version, the one dropping 46 and dishing 11 while drilling 8 threes, is already terrifying. Add a consistent long-range threat on top of that, that's an offensive weapon no defense wants any part of. And it's not like the stat line was padded in a blowout. This wasn't garbage time production. Luka was the engine from the tip, scoring, assisting, Rebounding. All of it came with purpose. Every minute of his 38 on the floor was needed, and every minute was productive. There's no filler in these games. No inflated box scores with meaningless buckets. Luka's hitting the mark across the board and doing it with efficiency that would make a shooting coach cry from joy. 15 makes on 25 shots is 60% from the field. That's already elite for a big man, let alone a guard, handling the ball as much as he does. And when almost half of those shots are threes, and he's making 8 of them, that's shooting. That completely flips the geometry of the court. The 11 assists show he's not just looking to score, he's creating, finding shooters, finding cutters, running pick and rolls with precision. There's not a single part of the offense that doesn't run through him, and he's not forcing it. He's making the right reads and still getting his numbers. 7 rebounds? Of course, because why not round out the line? He's not just hanging out on the perimeter, he's grabbing boards, pushing the pace, and initiating the break. There's no slowdown, no weakness, just high-level output night after night. This stretch of 4 straight games is just stacking evidence. 32, 33, 38, 46. The rebounds, the assists, the shooting percentages, they're all consistent. That's the part that stands out. Not one-off outbursts, but an extended run of games where he's doing it all. There's nothing fluky about it. And yeah, the records are nice, but it's the game-by-game dominance that's really speaking loudest. Whether it's a triple-double or just shy of one, whether it's 8 threes or double-digit assists, the production is everywhere. Every column on the stat sheet has Luka's fingerprints on it. And when that happens for one game, it's impressive. When it happens 4 games in a row, that's just another level entirely. The league knows what he's doing. Defenders are trying, coaches are game planning, but it's not mattering. When a guy is this efficient, this consistent, and still raising his level, there's not a lot the defense can do but just survive. And right now, they're not even doing that. Luka's burning through them all. But Luka's season as a whole this season has been crazy. Luka is averaging 33.4 points per game this season, and that number alone puts him ahead of 100% of players in the league, literally everyone. Not tied, not close. He's outscoring them all. That's not just good, that's leading the entire NBA and putting the ball in the basket, and doing it while carrying an entire offense. It's not empty scoring either. His effective field goal percentage sits at 54.3%. That might sound like just a number, but it tells a real story. Effective field goal percentage factors in the fact that 3-pointers are worth more than 2s, and Luka's hitting enough of both to make that number matter. He's scoring over a point per shot attempt, even when the defense is completely focused on him from the opening possession. He's getting buckets at a volume and efficiency combo that almost nobody can match. 7 made 2-pointers per game, 3.4 made 3s. That's over 10 made shots a night, with 22.4 field goal attempts per game. And he's not just chucking. That kind of shot diet would usually tank a player's efficiency, but Luka's turning it into 33.4 points. That's not just volume, that's precision. The true shooting percentage, 60.9%. That's a massive number for a high-usage guard. True shooting takes into account free throws and 3-point shooting. And at nearly 61%, Luka's sitting in elite territory. He's scoring 1.2 points per scoring attempt. That's efficient offense from a player taking on a massive load. He's not being carried. He is the system. When you look at how often he gets to the line, it all makes sense. Luka's averaging 11.5 free throw attempts per game. That's not a typo. 11.5 trips to the stripe every night. That's nearly 12 chances a game to put points on the board without using any clock. And it's not just flailing into contact. It's smart, intentional, and strategic. He's weaponized the whistle. The frequency of those free throws also makes his true shooting percentage even more impressive. It means he's being efficient, even while taking a lot of contact, dealing with collapsing defenses, and drawing fouls at a high rate. The guy's constantly under pressure, and somehow his efficiency just keeps rising. Let's go back to that 1.2 points per scoring attempt. That number puts him ahead of nearly 3/4 of players in the league, 73%. When Luka takes a shot or goes to the line, he's giving his team more return on that possession than almost anyone else. That's not something you see from players just putting up points. That's what happens when a player is creating high-value offense every single trip down the floor. What's wild is how stable his shot profile is. 7 2-point field goals made per game and 3.4 threes is not some wild variance. That's consistency. That means night in and night out, Luka's showing up, hitting his spots and getting to his zone. He's not relying on hot shooting streaks. He's not feast or famine. He's reliable firepower, and the numbers back that up in every category. Now look at the field goal attempts. 22.4 per game. That number could go either way depending on the player. For some, that's way too much volume, and it leads to bad shots. But with Luka, it's just the right mix. He's getting those 22 shots up while still shooting over 54% in effective field goal percentage. That means he's choosing his spots well, even when he's forced to take tough looks. That balance between volume and efficiency is the foundation of what makes his offensive season so elite. Most players can either get you points in bunches or give you solid efficiency. Very few can do both. Luka's doing both, and he's doing it with the entire defense keyed in on him. Opponents know what's coming, and it's still not stopping him from dropping over 33 points per game. And none of this happens without his ability to score at all three levels. He can finish at the rim, hit mid-range pull-ups, and knock down threes off the dribble or catch. It's the full package. That's why his 2-point field goals and 3-point makes are both in strong territory. He's not one-dimensional, and it shows in the numbers. His shot chart probably looks like an art piece. There's production all over the floor. From the paint to the perimeter, Luka's got range, touch, and timing. He's not living off just one area. He's stretching the defense in every direction and doing it while keeping up high scoring efficiency. That's just not common. And let's not ignore the volume of his output. 33.4 points per game isn't just elite, it's rare. Even among top scorers historically, that's a number you don't see every season. Add in the fact that he's doing it while also setting up teammates and initiating offense, and it becomes a nightmare for defenses. It's one thing to average over 33 points while being a pure scorer. It's another to do it while being the primary ball handler, the lead playmaker, and the most dangerous shooter on the floor. Luka's doing all of that and still posting better scoring numbers than anyone else in the league. What he's doing isn't just about racking up numbers. It's about creating offense that leads to wins. The pressure he puts on opposing defenses opens up everything else. His gravity changes how teams play. They send doubles, they collapse in the paint, they shade the defense toward him, and it still doesn't matter because he's not just creating for himself. But this script is about scoring, and that scoring is so loud and so efficient, it demands its own spotlight. Luka's not just putting up points. He's doing it smarter, faster, and with more precision than almost anyone playing today. Think about what it takes to average over 33 points on over 60% true shooting. It's rare air. It's the kind of stat line that usually belongs to dominant bigs who take all their shots at the rim. But Luka's doing it from the perimeter, in isolation, in pick and roll, in transition. Every play type, every situation, he's scoring with intent and with results. And if that wasn't enough, his efficiency numbers are staying solid while carrying one of the highest usage rates in the league. That's the wild part. When you carry that much offensive responsibility, the numbers usually dip. Guys get tired, defenses adjust. But Luka's not just holding steady, he's improving. He's scoring more efficiently than players taking fewer shots. He's making more of his scoring chances than guys who barely get the defense's attention. And he's doing it while being the number one focus on every scouting report, every night. The balance of power and finesse in his game is a big reason why. Luka's not just bullying his way to points, but he's also not relying on flashy, low-percentage shots. It's controlled aggression. It's getting to the line, hitting step backs, bodying defenders in the paint, and floating in soft touch finishes. Every point is earned, but most of them look effortless. When you put all the numbers together, the 33.4 points per game, the 1.2 points per scoring attempt, the 54.3 effective field goal percentage, the 60.9 true shooting, it paints a picture that doesn't really need interpretation. It just says domination. And don't forget the consistency. This isn't a streak. It's not one wild month. It's the whole season. Luka's been putting up these kinds of numbers game after game, week after week, and there's no sign of it slowing down. The efficiency is staying strong, even in back-to-backs, even when defenses throw traps, even when help comes early. Luka's reading it all, adjusting, and still hitting those scoring marks with scary regularity. This is what top-tier offense looks like. High volume, high efficiency, smart shot selection, constant pressure on the defense, trips to the line, threes at a good clip, tough twos that drop. There's no hole in the scoring profile. Every area is covered, and it's being executed at the highest level. And sure, some guys will have a few great games and spike their averages, but Luka's not living off a couple of big nights. He's doing this every time he steps on the court. That 33.4 isn't inflated, it's earned. That true shooting over 60% isn't lucky, it's repeatable. And the 11.5 free throw attempts, that's just evidence of someone who knows exactly how to create contact, manipulate space, and get results. The scoring season he's putting together is all-time level. It's not just a bright spot in the league this year. It's the kind of production that stacks up with some of the best single seasons ever seen. And it's being done with intelligence, efficiency, and pure offensive skill. There's no arguing with the numbers. Luka is giving his team elite offense every night, and he's doing it better than anyone else in the league this season. The points, the shooting percentages, the shot mix, they all point to one thing. This is one of the best offensive stretches the NBA has seen in a long time. But then we can do the same for his passing. Luka's passing this season isn't just good, it's off the charts elite. His assist numbers, ball handling efficiency, and the way he creates offense for others all add up to one of the most impactful playmaking seasons in the league. He's averaging 8.7 assists per game, which already puts him ahead of 97% of players. But it's not just about the assist totals, it's how he's doing it, how often he's doing it, and how cleanly he's doing it compared to the risk involved. Start with the assist percentage, 39.55. That number shows the percentage of his teammates made field goals that he directly assisted while on the court. Basically, when Luka's out there, 4 out of every 10 buckets scored by his teammates are happening because he set it up. That's orchestrator status. That's not just someone running the offense. That is the offense. Think about that. Nearly 40% of all field goals made by his teammates while he's on the floor are happening thanks to him. That's a control level you usually only see from elite point guards at the peak of their careers. And Luka's doing it while still being one of the league's top scorers. He's not sacrificing anything to get others involved. He's doing both, and doing both at a top-tier level. Now let's look at how much offense he's creating just with his passing. The average points assisted per game, 20.6. That's over 20 points every night, directly created by Luka's vision and precision. And when you add that to his own scoring, 33.4 points. He's personally responsible for over 50 points per game. That's a total offensive output that most entire lineups struggle to generate. Luka's just out there, handling that by himself. And yet somehow, he's doing all this while keeping his turnover percentage to just 13.64. That number tells you how many of his offensive possessions are ending in a turnover, and for someone who touches the ball as much as Luka does, that number is low, really low. Only about 1 out of every 7 or 8 plays he finishes results in a turnover. For comparison, that puts him ahead of 65% of players in terms of efficiency. And most of those guys are not running the offense every trip down the floor. His total turnovers per game, 4.3. That sounds like a lot until you realize how many actions he's taking. He's averaging 27.4 scoring attempts per game. That includes shots and possessions he ends by passing. So when you consider how many plays he's directly involved in, 4.3 turnovers suddenly looks like a very small price to pay for the constant creation and control he brings. And that's what separates Luka from other players who rack up high assist numbers. Most players with assist averages close to his are also surrounded by systems designed to maximize spacing or rely heavily on catch and shoot plays. Luka, though, is creating these looks off the dribble through double teams and in broken plays where he's improvising in real time. It's creative playmaking, not system-generated assists. The ball handling rating, 99%. That's a 3-step metric that evaluates how well a player can control the ball under pressure, especially when tasked with creating shots for both themselves and their teammates. Luka ranks in the top 1% of the league in ball handling. He's not just avoiding mistakes, he's navigating traps, weaving through defenders, using angles, hesitation, tempo, and body control to make the passes others cannot even see. He's not out there swinging the ball side to side for a basic assist. He's threading the needle through defenders. He's hitting shooters in the pocket. He's dropping dimes out of pick and rolls. He's manipulating defenders with his eyes, dragging defenders with him on drives, and finding the open man, even when that window only exists for half a second. That's elite vision and even better execution. Most players who pass this often eventually run into efficiency problems. Too many turnovers, passes that are just late, decision-making that breaks down under pressure. Luka's not dealing with that. He's reading defenses like a chessboard and always staying 2 moves ahead. And that's why his turnover percentage remains low while his assist percentage stays sky high. And it's not just assists to shooters. Luka's creating every kind of pass. Lob passes to cutters, skip passes across the floor, touch passes in transition, dump offs to bigs, rolling to the rim, kickouts to the perimeter after collapsing the paint. No angle is off limits. No help rotation goes unnoticed. He's seeing the whole court and attacking whatever the defense gives him. The fact that his assists lead to over 20 points per game should not be glossed over. That's a full starter's scoring output, and Luka's handing it out like clockwork. And it's not stat chasing. It's in the flow of the offense. He's making plays that make sense, that create rhythm, and that lead to good shots. And his teammates know it. That trust leads to movement, spacing, and timing that wouldn't happen if he weren't in total control. Most teams would be thrilled to have a player generating 8 or 9 assists a night. They'd build the whole offense around that. Luka's doing that, while also being the top scorer in the league. And he's doing it without the offense falling into chaos. The spacing stays clean. The rhythm stays intact. The ball movement doesn't stall. That's rare. And the thing is, Luka's not throwing lazy passes or padding the assist column. He's making passes that matter. The kind that lead to wide open looks. The kind that shift the defense and break rotations. He's doing more than just moving the ball. He's warping the floor with it. That's what separates him from stat sheet stuff. There's real impact behind every assist. And despite all this creation, the efficiency stays consistent. His assist to turnover ratio is solid, considering how much he handles the ball. 2 assists for every turnover might not seem incredible on the surface. But when you factor in how many of those assists are made under pressure, in late clock situations, or against top defenders, it becomes even more valuable. A lot of guards with similar turnover numbers are making safe plays. Luka's out here taking risks, and they're paying off. He's making high-level passes and doing it so often that the occasional turnover is just the cost of business. And honestly, that cost is low compared to the production he's putting up. He's not afraid to push the tempo or pass over the top of the defense. He'll use ball fakes, head fakes, subtle changes in direction, all to create just enough separation to slip in a pass. It's not showy for the sake of it. It's functionally creative. Everything has a purpose. Every pass leads to something better. And in half-court situations, he's lethal. Luka can break down a set defense and still find the open man without needing a screen. That's what makes him so hard to guard. It's not just about stopping his shot. It's about the fact that every defender drawn toward him opens up a passing lane, and he's more than capable of taking advantage of every single one. Even when the opposing team switches or traps, Luka keeps his composure. He'll draw the defense just far enough to open up the short roll or swing it to the weak side shooter before the rotation can even start. These are plays that require elite decision making, and Luka's making them consistently. His playmaking also scales with pressure. In close games, late game possessions, crunch time scenarios, Luka's passing stays crisp. There's no panic. He keeps finding the open man. He keeps putting teammates in positions to score. That kind of poise under pressure can't be taught. It comes from feel, from awareness, and from understanding every option on the floor at all times. The numbers only tell part of the story. The advanced metrics put him ahead of almost every other player in terms of passing and decision making. 97% of players fall behind him in assist rate. 99% trail him in ball handling control. He's not just an elite passer by total volume. He's elite in efficiency, control, timing, and impact. And if you're still trying to find a flaw in his passing game, good luck. He's assisting at a historic rate, keeping turnovers under control, making every kind of pass, and doing it all while maintaining one of the league's top scoring outputs. That's the kind of playmaking that redefines what it means to be a lead guard. There's no question about it. Luka's passing this season is among the best in the league. But more than that, it's the kind of passing that changes games, creates advantages, and breaks defenses down night after night. The numbers are elite, the execution is clean, and the impact is undeniable. Then we can look at his rebounding. Luka is averaging 7.8 rebounds per game this season, and that number alone puts him ahead of over 81% of all players in the league. That's not just decent for a guard, that's strong rebounding for anyone, regardless of position. He's not camped out in the paint like a center, but he's pulling down boards at a clip that most forwards would be happy with. It's yet another part of his game where he's doing more than what's expected and doing it with consistency. Out of those 7.8 rebounds, 6.9 are defensive. That's where the majority of the work is happening. On the other end, where possessions get closed and transition offense starts, and Luka's pulling down those defensive boards better than 88% of all players. Let that sink in. He's not just grabbing a few long rebounds when they happen to bounce to him. He's actually clearing the glass, boxing out, reading angles, and securing stops, like a seasoned rebounder. That defensive rebound percentage, 18.95. That's the percentage of all available defensive rebounds he's grabbing while he's on the floor. Almost 1 in every 5. And for someone who's not a full-time forward or center, that number is massive. It means he's not waiting for someone else to get it. He's reading the shot, tracking the ball, and going and getting it himself. That's awareness and effort. He's not just standing around hoping the ball comes his way. Rebounding like that from the guard position has a ripple effect across the game. When your primary ball handler is also cleaning up missed shots, that allows the team to get out in transition faster, to reset possessions more efficiently, and to avoid giving up second chances. Luka's presence on the defensive glass has real impact, and it shows in how the team floats from defense to offense. Offensively, the numbers are more modest. 0.9 offensive boards per game, but even that puts him ahead of 29% of the league. That might not sound huge, but for a primary creator who's usually operating beyond the arc or in pick and roll situations, grabbing almost 1 offensive board per game is solid. He's not sitting under the basket like a traditional big man. So every one of those offensive rebounds comes from awareness and hustle. His offensive rebound percentage is 2.53. That means he's grabbing just over 2.5% of all available offensive rebounds while on the floor. And sure, that's not elite, but it's also not supposed to be. Luka's rebounding isn't built on vertical dominance or pure size. It's built on positioning, timing, and knowing where the ball is going before it even hits the rim. What makes his rebounding even more impressive is the context. Luka's playing heavy minutes, taking on the biggest offensive workload on the team, leading in scoring, leading in assists, and still averaging almost 8 rebounds per game. That's not normal. Most players who carry that much offensive responsibility aren't crashing the glass this effectively. They're conserving energy or waiting for someone else to do the dirty work. Luka doesn't have that gear. He's involved in every play. He's tracking shooters. He's boxing out bigger players. He's crashing the lane from the perimeter. These aren't cheap rebounds. He's not padding stats by snatching freebie boards that are already heading out of bounds. He's earning them, and he's doing it every single game. That's why his rebounding averages hold up over the course of the season. There's no stat padding, just real production. And when he does grab those rebounds, he's not just freezing the play, he's using those boards as fuel. Luka turns defensive rebounds into transition opportunities in seconds. He grabs the ball and pushes it up court himself. No outlet pass, no waiting. It's instant offense. And that's part of what makes him such a unique weapon. He's not just ending the other team's possession, he's immediately starting his own. That ability to rebound and immediately push the break gives his team a huge advantage. It cuts down on time, creates mismatches, and forces defenders to react. And Luka knows how to take advantage of that chaos. He's already scanning the floor while the ball's in the air. By the time he secures the rebound, he's got the next move ready. That's why his rebounds aren't empty. They're the beginning of the next wave of offense. And it's not all about transition either. In the half court, having a rebounding guard means fewer reset issues. If a shot goes up and Luka's on the floor, there's a good chance he's the one securing it. That means less scrambling to get the ball to the point guard. He is the point guard. The team stays in rhythm. The offense doesn't have to slow down to recover from a missed shot. Luka's already on the next step. And don't ignore the physicality. Rebounding is a grind. It's about getting position, taking contact, battling for space. Luka's not the most explosive athlete on the court, but he's strong, and he knows how to use his body. He'll back into a bigger defender, seal off space, and grab the ball before anyone else can react. He's got a sense of timing that lets him beat quicker players and outmuscle bigger ones. It's a tough combination to deal with. That's especially noticeable on the defensive end, where he's not just grabbing the easy ones. He's pulling boards away from big men, fighting through traffic, and holding his own under the rim. It's one thing for a guard to grab a long rebound when everyone's already running back. It's another thing to be in the paint, going up against power forwards and centers, and still coming down with the ball. And because of that, Luka's defensive rebounding is not just a bonus. It's a core part of how the team functions. When he's on the floor, the team has a better shot at finishing defensive possessions. And that matters. That one rebound can be the difference between forcing a stop and giving up a second chance three. And Luka's grabbing those rebounds at a clip that puts him ahead of almost 90% of the league. That's not an accident. You also have to consider the load he's carrying. With everything else he's doing, scoring over 33 points per game, dishing out almost 9 assists, playing over 35 minutes a night, he's still locked in on the boards. That's stamina, that's focus. That's refusing to let plays go just because you're doing a million other things already. And that effort has ripple effects. When your star player is putting in work on the glass, it sets the tone. It tells everyone else to hustle. It shows that no part of the game is beneath him. Luka's not out there cherry picking or floating around waiting for the next possession. He's fighting for the ball every trip, every quarter. Even when he's matched up against taller wings or switched onto bigs, he doesn't shy away from rebounding battle. He'll bump, hold his ground, and go after it. That mindset matters. It's not just about what he gets, it's about the message. It's about the culture that kind of play builds. And yeah, almost 8 rebounds per game doesn't always jump off the page the way points do. But when you watch the impact, it becomes impossible to miss. He's stealing extra possessions. He's preventing second chance points. He's fueling fast breaks. He's resetting the offense after missed shots. Every one of those 7.8 rebounds changes the momentum of the game. Rebounding doesn't have to be flashy to matter. It just has to be reliable. And Luka's rebounding is exactly that. Reliable, consistent, and impactful. He's bringing a level of rebounding effort from the guard position that most teams don't expect and can't really match. And he's doing it without taking anything away from the rest of his game. He's not losing scoring chances by chasing rebounds. He's not sacrificing playmaking to crash the boards. He's finding the balance and making it work on all fronts. That's rare. That's difficult. And that's what makes this season's rebounding numbers so valuable. When your leading scorer and primary playmaker is also one of your best rebounders, you've got a serious weapon. It changes how you play, how you defend, and how you transition between possessions. Luka gives you that every night, and he does it with the kind of control and consistency that doesn't just pad stats, it wins games. 7.8 rebounds per game, 6.9 of those on the defensive end. Top 12% in the league in defensive rebound percentage. That's elite level rebounding effort and production from a guard who's doing everything else too. It's not a side effect of his role. It's a feature of it. And that's the story of Luka's rebounding this season. Quietly dominant, consistently impactful, and fully integrated into the way he controls every aspect of the game. He's not just one of the top scorers or playmakers, he's also one of the most effective rebounding guards in the league. The numbers prove it. The film shows it. The results speak for themselves. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.